What is up, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube guys? I am Chris Smith, and today I got a video for you today. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Shameless Season 6, Episode 1. They released it online. That's why I'm reviewing ahead of the curve, ahead of the pack. I'm talking about it right here, right now. Now, if you haven't seen my video, just stick with the whole thing through, and then you can judge it. If you have, then go ahead. And if you're a fan of the show, watch the video. But let's talk about Shameless Season 6, Episode 1. Now, this episode, I thought was a pretty good season premiere. I thought it was a little bit better than Season 5, because Season 5 was a little bit off in a couple of cases. But I feel like they really kind of captured what was Shameless back in this episode. Now, in this episode, we started with a recap of last season, and that's one thing Shameless always does pretty much well. They get you up to speed with anything that you may have missed. Obviously, they take a jab at you if you haven't really remembered what was in the previous episode or previous season, whatever it may be. But they keep you up to speed, and that I like. Now, we see Frank after Bianca pretty much, ended herself or just like left Frank. Now he's in mourning. Now he's sad. He's sleeping at her grave. He's starting to get real sad and somber, and then, things get a little bit weird, and the guy at the the funeral place is like saying, you can't sleep here, man, you're damn hobo. But yeah, he keeps telling everybody that he loves them and whatnot, and obviously everybody's not buying his bullshit and whatnot, and yeah, that's kind of not what this episode was about, but there's a lot of things going on in this episode. Not only that, this is where the story kind of takes place as form, where Debbie and Fiona, they go to, I'm assuming, the doctor or fertility clinic, whatever, to see if Debbie is pregnant. As you saw in the previous season, Debbie, pretty much was not on the pill when she had sex. She went in full force, unshaved, protected, and then she, goes to the doctor in this episode, and we kind of see she doesn't want Fiona to go. Now, Debbie's 15, right? I don't know necessarily about all this teen pregnancy and stuff, what I see on Teen Mom. But me particularly, what I am saying is that when she kind of let her go in her separate ways, Fiona, I was just like, first of all, you're the adult here. You should have at least went in with her. I feel like that was a very dumb thing. You are the guardian of the kids. Why not just go in with them? But whatever, she lets Debbie go on her own, and then pretty much we find out that Debbie is pregnant. She doesn't tell Fiona that she's pregnant, so you almost start to wonder, okay, Debbie, what are you trying to pull? What are you doing here? Tell Fiona you have a baby. You're 15 fucking years old, but apparently she thinks that, because her boyfriend or whatever is going to be so happy. And then we kind of see Debbie and her boyfriend talking, and you realize that even though she told Fiona that she didn't have a kid, and Fiona's so happy, she's praising. She's like, thank God. When she said she might have done the nene, I almost was like, yeah, the nene. That's so 2015. Leave that back. Don't bring that into this year. But yes, when that was happening, and then she didn't tell Fiona about the entire thing, I was just like, what are you doing? Are you stupid? Because first of all, she didn't consult with her boyfriend, right? And then when she does kind of confront the kid, you can clearly see this kid does not give two shits about this baby. He doesn't want a kid. He's like 15, 16 years old. His life is pretty much ruined after that. Now, I don't think Debbie really got that into her head. And then, you eventually see that when she goes to, like I said, this is going to be spoilers, so come back after the episode, or if you already seen it online. But once she goes to the kid's house, I think David or whatever, you realize that kid is gone. That dude booked it out of the goddamn Chicago. The mother said he ain't here. He went to Florida, whatnot. And then that dude is gone. And now she just left pregnant. Fiona don't know, whatever you don't know. And then nobody don't know, really, other than the parents. And they just is like, all right, yeah, you have a child. Welcome. To me, the Gallaghers just have this strange habit of having babies just like, baby daddies or parents just kind of like thrown out there and just like leaving. The Gallagher family or anybody around the Gallaghers just, they cannot stand babies apparently. And then we see Fiona. She eventually gets this assistant, manager job at the place. Her and Delmo Mahoney, I forgot his name, Delmer. Anyway, her boss that she's sleeping with, right? Everybody starts to get jealous. One of the guys apparently was selling cocaine, so she eventually becomes the assistant manager. She doesn't necessarily want it at first. Ian slipping. A couple of things that I did like in this episode was that I enjoyed Ian and Mickey's conversation in the prison. Particularly, reason why was because even though it's kind of like any good relationship, right? And for the most part, I thought the relationship was well, and it was one of the positive things of Shameless. It's like I'm forgetting her name. Fiona and the Steve, or whatever his name is. Steve, I forgot his name. Forgive me here. I'm drunk. But anyways, Steve, right? And her, and you realize that they're kind of wrong for each other, but it's like they're so wrong that particularly they become right. And that's kind of like Ian and Mickey, is that they are two wrongs, right? One's bipolar, one's just like this crazy prison riot dude, whatever you want to call it, this nutcase. And then there are two wrongs that somehow actually make a right, and you kind of want their relationship to succeed. But like any well thought out relationship on TV, they go through their ups, their downs, and all around their spirals or whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed that conversation because you kind of feel sad. You've seen the good times that they had, more than some that I want to see, but you see the good times that they had, and you kind of want them to go back to the way they were, but the way they were. Anyway, that was my attempt to sing, and that didn't go well. But and apparently, you have all these things where they have their bad problems. They have their bad problems, the Gallaghers and Mickey's side and whatnot, and then you match them together. But for some reason, they feel right. Two wrongs. Ian and Mickey make a right, apparently. But yeah, when they get together, who knows where this thing takes it. Me particularly, I feel like Shameless is kind of coming to an end. I feel like maybe we might have one more season. Maybe two more, because I feel like everything is coming to a head. And then we go to Lip's side of things, where Lip is starting to fall for his teacher. He's still having sex with one of his teachers and whatnot, and he's enjoying that. But then he wants a little bit more. Lip is the type of guy, and we kind of seen that already before. He's the type of guy that he wants to be in a relationship. He's not. There's certain people that don't want to be single. They think they do, but they want more. And Lip is pretty much one of those guys, pretty much. Now, me particularly, while seeing Lip and his teacher, which is like, come on, I wouldn't blame him. But he starts to really fall for it. He wants kind of a relationship, and he starts to get a little bit paranoid and whatnot. While he's going paranoid, he eventually finds this guy coming to his house because his roommate is starting to spread rumors and whatnot, and he'd be like, "What a dick!" This dickhead is just like constantly spreading rumors and whatnot, and he's just like, "Hey, there's rumors going around that your teacher friend is going with somebody else," and then Lip starts to get paranoid. He's looking for everybody else around him, and then he punches the teacher's son and whatnot, and then they kind of realize that they actually do like each other. And maybe they actually might make it work, and that's kind of where Lip's story kind of ends. And then we go to Carl. Carl, fresh out of prison, bam, fresh out of juvie, and guess what he does? He's got cornrows. He's the man. He is so popular in prison. Not that popular. Come on, people. Not that popular. But yes, he is popular in prison. He got released. He's coming home, and guess who's coming to dinner? His friend, which is 18 years old, but he looks like he's like a 30-year-old inmate, the dude from The Blind Side. And apparently, yeah, they got that going, and he is now staying over with them, a sleepover. Fiona thought it was just a basic guy, but this dude is a grown-ass man, looks like he's nearly 40, and he's like 6'5" and like 300 goddamn pounds. So, that was just like, what the hell is this? But yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this episode, and then eventually Fiona is exposed, or Debbie's, Debbie's boyfriend's family comes to Fiona's house, and they reveal Debbie's secret. Her baby secret is out. It is over. It is exposed, and now Carl's just like, hey, what else did I miss? And I'm just like, okay, well, you kind of brought this on yourself. These Gallaghers have a habit of bringing on more trouble than needed. Because I always say this, right? Anytime you think you're having a bad day, just watch Shameless, and you will be like, yeah, I could have it worse. I could have like a goddamn Gallagher. But apparently, yeah, that's how that went, and that kind of is where that ended. But then we also get also another thing in here, Will Sasso, right? Will Sasso from Mad TV and whatnot, funny guy for the most part. He's in here for like one scene and whatnot. I thought he was like just kind of there. Now, if this story continues, which I'm assuming it is, but it's just like what. Also, this is a nitpick. Also, I was just like, I really do hate when they kind of act like a character is well established into this neighborhood or whatnot. Even though we have never seen this dude before. He said, Will Sass's character said he lived here for like 26 years. And so like, we lived for 26 years. We've been following the Gallaghers for like 6 seasons. I've never seen you before. Where the hell have you been? But yeah, that was just a small nitpick. And then we kind of end this thing for the most part with Frank going back to Bianca's grave, and then he pretty much dry humps her burial site. and now and that was just a very awkward scene to the point where I was just like, what the hell am I actually watching? I was questioning what the hell I was watching, but it was a very funny scene for the most part, and then it kind of ends with now Frank is wearing Bianca's underwear, and because he feels closer to her, he feels more closer. But yes, a very wacky episode, but a lot of fun. To me, as I said before, I think this was or maybe I didn't say, where I was just like, this is a better season premiere than I think last season, because I feel like it brought back some of the humor and what we loved about Shameless. Now, season 5, it was a little bit dark, and more dark than usual, and it wasn't as fun as the previous seasons, really. And to me personally, I prefer season 2. The summer was just a blast to see. Now, all the seasons were great, but particularly I like 2. What is your favorite season of Shameless? Did you actually enjoy this episode? Let me know. Comment below, I guess. But comment, subscribe, like. I'm Chris Smith. I'm signing out. Watch out.